I have 8 traveler's notebooks. Let's talk about them. We'll start with my Kyoto blue cover. This is my D&D notebook. So I play in person with a bunch of really good friends on weekends, on every second weekend I should say. And this is what I use to keep track of all the mayhem that happens. We'll open her up. So the first thing is a clear cover, what do they call that? Clear folder, zip folder scenario. I have a dashboard in here that I made years ago. It is crazy dirty, and I don't know why it's dirty, but it's super old. Like, this has been around for probably very, very early on. It's torn. It's just old. My first notebook in here is a little Hobonichi notebook. It holds the inventory of our party. I like to keep track of it in one spot. I leave this sort of in the middle of the table a lot of the time, and once we get magical items or potions or just anything that needs to be noted down, I will write it in here, and I'll put in brackets who has it or where it is, because we do have a bag of holding, and the bag of holding changes hands all the time. So depending on who has it is who I put in brackets, their character's name next to the person. If we also have like bombs or like potions and stuff, I'll write down circles next to it, so whenever we use one up, I can just color it in so we know how many we've used and like how many is left and things like that. So that's how I use my inventory. This is a grid insert from Traveler's Notebooks. This is where I keep my notes. They're pretty straightforward. I am the only note keeper or the note taker in the group, so invaluable. I tried annotating, or I tried putting tabs in for different topics or keeping track of things. It's just not how I take notes. I didn't enjoy it. It felt tedious and like too disruptive, trying to remember what color was what and like where to put it and things like that. It just wrecked the flow of the day, and I'm definitely not somebody who would go back later and do it then. So yeah, most of us have pretty good memories about what's going on, and if not, it takes like 5 minutes to flick through the notebook and to find the information if we need it. Also, the DM is an excellent DM. He often also remembers, and he's a really good note taker, so he'll sometimes just tell us if it's not like super detrimental or anything like that. Like benign stuff, he'll just straight up tell us, because it's just easier than waiting for somebody to go through the notebook. Anyway, the other side of the clear pocket in the zipper pocket is, have I closed that? I've just closed that. Classic. Is a list of our bard's enemies. He is a very dramatic bard, and every time someone sasses him or doesn't give him the admiration he thinks he deserves, goes on an enemy list. I'm sure it's longer than this, but I've only just started keeping track of it because we keep forgetting who his enemies are. So I've started to keep track for him just as a joke. He's not super serious, I hope, but it is fun. It's a good gimmick. It's a good bit. I enjoy it. And then I have the spell cards. These spell cards I made myself out of playing card sets. I'm a Wild Magic Barbarian Cleric multi-class. I've only got one dip into Cleric at the moment, so I don't have a huge amount of spells. So I can just very comfortably leave them in here for now. Eventually, if I do put more levels into Cleric, I'll probably get my own little box to keep spell cards. I make my own because the spell box or the spell cards you get from Wizards of the Coast don't always include random spells, or they don't update them with new source books, I have been told. So kind of pointless. especially because I do love a weird spell, so it's just easier to make my own. And the feeling of the linen play cards is much nicer than the flimsy cardboard ones that you get from the stock Wizards of the Coast box. So that's what stays in there. I have my character sheet, which I Frankensteined myself. I am one of those people, if I don't see it in front of me, I will forget it exists. So I needed a lot more space for features and traits and things like that for my character. I color code my character sheet. I just like to know what part of my character's personality or background or class that I'm pulling from different traits and skills and things like that. It's just a weird Maddie quirk when she plays D&D, and I like it. So that's how I set up my own character sheet. This is a prop from one of our games that I just for some reason have decided to hold on to. We don't need it. It was from like really early on. The whole task has passed, but you know. I printed out our Bardic Inspiration die. I'm pretty sure he's a Creations Bard. So his Bardic Inspiration can do really cool stuff. And I give these to him to hand out to people he gives Bardic Inspiration to, just so they know what they can do with it rather than just the regular 1d8 to checks and stuff. So yeah, I just thought it was handy, and it has been very handy. It's, again, having handouts is really handy in in-person games, so people aren't wasting time Googling stuff to make sure that, oh, is this what it does, sort of thing. And you don't have to remember necessarily what your Bardic Inspiration does or things do. Another handout, and not handout, it's just a card that I made for myself, which is the Wild Magic table. I'm a Wild Magic Barbarian. Every time I rage, I roll on it. And I love it. It's great. It's, again, really easy to reference, and I don't need to waste time Googling or remembering things. And it doesn't take up room on my character sheet. So it's just good to keep them separate. And that is my D&D notebook. Another D&D notebook. This is my blue personal size. So I've cut down a regular size to I like to think of it as the mini regular size. Personal size is just short and tall and skinny, just shrunken. Like the regular. I use this for planning. I am considering taking up DMing for our in-person group for when my Dungeon Master needs a break. So I'm currently in the planning process of what story I want to do and the world that I'm building and things like that. So I only have 2 notebooks in here. I have session notes and world notes. I will probably start annotating world notes eventually. I also fully expect to outgrow this size when it comes to D&D, because you do need quite a lot of information a lot of the time. I know my DM has about 4 different books going at any moment, so this is just for me right now to sort of get thoughts out. Once I do start undertaking the actual role of dungeon mastering, I will probably get a different book, which is really good because I have fallen in love with this thing. Like, look at it. It's so freaking cute. This is just a random piece of material that a pen pal of mine gave me years ago. I saw that Camille had like sticky taped it to one of her journals. I was like, oh, I love that. Because we have the same piece of material. Obviously, we've shared that pen pal. And I was like, oh, I'm going to steal that idea. Because naturally, I steal a lot of Camille's ideas. She has excellent ideas. So I stole it. The tape was getting annoying, so I glued it on. It's a permanent fiction now. I genuinely love it though. It looks so good. So I do want to repurpose this eventually into something that I use more regularly. So I'm excited for when I grow out of this for D&D. I can use it for something else. I have no idea what yet. But it's cute as heck, and I'm very excited about it. So that is the other D&D notebook. Next, we'll talk about the camel regular. The camel color in general. Me and him, we don't jive. We're not friends. I struggle liking this color. However, recently, it's gotten a little bit better. I think it's the green. I think the green on the camel is really quite lovely, and I'm slowly appreciating it a smidgen more. Just a smidgen. I'm not willing to say that I love the camel yet, but we're on a trial basis. So far, it's going okay. Anyway, this is just a sticker hub right now at the moment. I cut down my olive recently to an A6, so all the folders and all the inserts that were in that are now in here, aside from like the actual journaly part. Yes, so it just holds a bunch of stickers now. Well, I'll go through the sticker release book because I like snooping through people's sticker books. I just like to see what they have. So I'll let you guys have a look at what I like to keep in my sticker book. I'm not a huge sticker person in my junk journaly sort of things. I definitely prefer to use stamps and pieces of paper. But in my Hobonichis, I've been really enjoying using stickers. And I have a lot of PET tapes, so I need to start using them up. This is actually a really cool sample of a Owl Studio tape that Camille gifted me, and I'm gonna use it in my D&D journals. I think I'm just gonna chuck it up everywhere because it's such a fantasy vibe and I really like it. Snoopy. Yes, that is currently what's in there. Nothing super exciting. Again, I'm not a huge sticker person, but I like having them around. In this pocket, I have some of the drop around classic-y stickers. I've had these for about 5 years, I think. I've had these for a really long time. I use them sparingly because I love them. And from memory, they were a bit expensive. I remember going, that's a lot of money for stickers. So I think that's why I use them quite sparingly, but I really like them. I love them very much. Something else I discovered is that I have this set of print-on stickers. I haven't been using print-on stickers for years now. I found they're cool, but they're tedious to use, and I'm not about that. I'm a very quick person when it comes to journaling. If I can't whack it down, it annoys me. There's too much going on. However, I have been reading a lot of Greek mythology lately, so having like Grecian sort of statues and stuff has been very cool. I'm glad I still have this. So that will probably be showing up in Media Log a lot because it's just very topical at the moment, and I really like that. And then I have some of the Traveler's Notebook double-sided tapes. I have been told that they don't make these anymore, and I'm very disappointed and sad about it. So I'll be hoarding them forever. But that's what's in that folder. I have the olive, what do they call these? Cotton folder, I think. This also just holds more stickers of Jin Lee and such. A Polaroid of me and my dad. Another random folder of other sample-y sort of stickers. This usually goes in a journal. But I've been sort of carrying my Delphonics around a lot more than I usually do, so it's just been chilling out in here for now. Not a big deal. I do eventually want to make a folder. I know Mark's Mellow does a tutorial. I want to do like a folder insert so I can carry more ephemera pieces and like different kind of sticker sheets. Maybe I'll get back into printing stickers, but I know some of the cardboardy stickers don't sit well in sticker release papers. Maybe they're too stiff. Their flexibility doesn't allow to be in these sort of books because they just sort of peel up immediately. I know I had a lot of trouble with that with these. Like you can see that they flick up on the edges if there's a slight curl or curve, and it can get really annoying, and they lose their stickiness quite quickly because they're constantly peeling up and stuff. So it would be good to have a folder in there for that. Even for some different ephemera pieces would be really cool, like sort of decking this out as kind of like a Delphonics pouch. So I don't necessarily always have to carry around my Delphonics pouch because a skinny book, like, stacks better than a chunky Dufflex pouch. And my Dufflex pouch is quite chunky, as you can see. Whoops. The only thing is I would probably want to still carry around a pen. So, but in saying that, I carry around a pencil case with me everywhere I go anyway. So it's not really the end of the world to have, like, tall, skinny things fit in my backpack better than short, fat stuff, if that makes sense. So I will probably work on getting that folder one eventually. I haven't got sturdy enough paper, I don't think. I need to get a slightly more cardstocky paper to be confident in the longevity of the folder notebook, for me, personally. But yes, that is the Camel Traveler's Notebook. Moving on. Next we have the Passport Brown and the A6 Olive. This is a olive that I cut down from a regular to an A6. I like to cut down journals. I think it's fun. These two have the exact same purpose. They are my music journals. I do journaling sort of style journaling, and I write down lyrics to the songs that I'm currently obsessed with. And it has been how I use my traveler's notebooks consistently. This is how I've used it for years now. And I love it. It is one of my all-time favorite things. It is such a good creative outlet for me. It's what I do when I'm feeling super stressed or I need to just get out of my head for a little bit. I will put the song on repeat and I will just journal and I will write out the lyrics. And it's really, really lovely for me. And that's how I really like to track the songs that I'm currently obsessed with. Because I'm a hyperfixator, I will play the same song over and over and over again anyway. So it's a good way for me to document that. Something that I haven't been doing that I would really like to now, I think I will start with this edition or this volume, is I will, at the end of the book, write out like a playlist of all the songs that I tracked in the insert. I think that would be really cool, a cool sort of summary of the book. So I'm going to start doing that from this insert on, because this one I finished this a little while ago. When did I finish it? In November. So yes, I really, really like these two. These two are my favorite journals of the lot. Just quickly how I set them up. I have a craft folder in here. It has a single sticker. I'm still figuring out how I like to set up my A6s, because they don't come with like I don't think you can find these easily. I haven't really looked. At the same time, I don't really need them. I have 2 already. I don't need a 5th or a 6th or whatever. Actually, no, I have 3. I forgot I have a blue as well. So yes, anyway, so I'm still figuring that out. Usually it's just stickers that I put in these. But I don't know, I'm just a sucker for a craft folder. I don't necessarily always use them, but I just like having them around. It's just kind of nice. I think it is like another extra level of protection for the insert. I know some covers can, like the dye of the covers can rub off on the inserts. So I think it's just an extra piece of protection to keep this part pretty, if that makes sense. This insert was made by my penpal Camille. We love Camille over here, so that was really, really lovely. In my passport, I have a cotton folder. I think that's what they're called. I have ephemera pieces in this one. I usually have a little envelope of hydrangea stamps, but because I'm not in this one at the moment, I think I've just moved that to a different journal for now. I probably should put it in here. I will have to take it back from one of the other journals that I have and put it back in here, because it does make sense that they would just switch. Anyway, once again, another craft folder. This one actually has stickers in it. Pretty cool. This is another insert made by Camille, but again, it is finished. More of the no longer being made double-sided stickers. And in here, I'm pretty sure it's just washi tape samples. Yep. So washi tape samples in there. That is how I use these books. I will keep them up here for a second. Next we'll talk about the Olive Passport, which is my daily log. This is my daily log. So every day, or I try to, every day I will decorate pages and then write random nonsense that happened throughout the day. It's not deep and meaningful all the time. It can be things like, I picked clovers today, or I filled out really good paperwork today. Go me. Like, it's just really simple day-to-day little things that happen. I've been daily logging off and on for the past almost a year now. I think it was like June-ish that I did it. So like 8 months, I guess. I don't know what time is. I don't even know what month it is. But I've been doing it for a while, and the big books I started in, I was like, it just doesn't really feel right. And then I started doing it more junk journaling style, and I've been really enjoying it. However, lately, I have noticed that life is hectic, as it usually is. Especially around school holidays, start of school, all that sort of stuff. We have a lot of birthdays this early in the year, that sort of stuff. So I feel like I'm a little bit busier than normal. And I don't always want to have time to, or have the energy to daily log like this. So what I've done is I have ordered myself a weekly insert for the passport, and I will move this sticker release insert into the music one because I do like having them around. It's good. Anyway, so I want to get the weekly insert to sort of help keep track of it, because I still like keeping track or keeping log of certain things that happen. And again, I don't have to log every single thought like I usually do, but like things that I would like to keep track of, like, oh, I got my haircut today, or my partner mowed the lawn today, or just like things that is just interesting to look back on, like, oh, like this season we had to mow every week rather than like every month, or I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I do like tracking things. I really like the daily log element, but lately I just haven't had the energy to sit down and do it regularly enough, or I'm not at my desk at long periods of time, so it's not an easy jot down anymore. I need to remember it, and I'm not good at remembering to use my phone or another random notebook to jot things down and transfer it in later. I'm not a big backlogger in that way. But I know that if I had the weekly and I just needed 1 or 2 jot downs, I could do that. I think I have the potential, or the it is something that I find attainable in that way. So I'm going to have a second one in here to sort of be a companion for the daily log. So some days I will daily log like normal, and other days I will daily log in a very minimal way in the weekly. Saying that, I do realize that things are just going to overlap, because in my black passport, which is my everyday carry, I carry this around in my wallet, in my bag a lot of the time. I really wanted to monthly journal, like do a little monthly, like a single memory of a day. I haven't been enjoying it as much as I used to. I don't know what it is. It's just not, excuse me. It's just not, jiving with me, I guess. It's just not speaking to me like as it normally did. I've done like a monthly thing last year, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed doing it last year, and I think I did it the year before that as well. But for some reason this year I just don't care. So it is still really good to have a monthly insert for carrying around out and about, because making plans and things like that, it's just really good to have that sort of stuff with you at all times, carrying around a calendar. Again, I don't use digital planning whatsoever. It does not work for me. I forget to update it. I find the notifications incredibly annoying, so I turn off the notifications, and then I can't remember what's going on because I never check the app. It's just not how I function. So having a physical calendar works really well for me. So I think the weekly insert will help even sort of supplement the monthly that I all of a sudden can't get into. I think it's a good shift. I think I just needed a change in that way. I don't know if you're like this, but I do sometimes get bored doing the same sort of, especially using a planner. I do sort of get bored doing the same thing over and over again, and I do like to have a change or a switch up every now and then. There are some journals, like again, like my music journals, that I will never touch, or not never touch, or they'll never change because they work too well for me. But there's others that will change, like again, my daily log changed from a regular size to a passport size. Even my like life archiving and journaling, I do in a Hobonichi now, and it's been like my favorite thing. I have absolutely adored this. But we're not talking about Hobonichis today. We're talking about traveler's notebooks. But yeah, I think I just needed a change, and I get really excited with the prospect of using a weekly insert again. I used one years ago, and I remember enjoying it. But I think the next year at the time I just didn't need it, so I didn't buy another one. So I am very excited to potentially bring that back. Not potentially, I've ordered it, it's in the mail. But yes, I'm very excited to have that as a companion to my daily log. This is an insert I made myself. It's a mixture of lacquer paper, calligraphy paper, and the cotton paper from Midori MD. I really like how fluffy it is. It's very delightful. Hey look, it's another craft folder. I have more of my own stickers in here. I don't know why do I have two of the same one? Nope, cool. I really like using these. I like circle stickers. I think they're really cool. Another sticker release insert. I will go through this one as well, because again, I like snooping through people's sticker inserts. This one is a lot more hodgepodgey than the regular. I sort of just throw whatever in here. I think this is where a lot of my washi or pet tape samples from friends go, because they are more likely where I will use them. Done. I also have, oh, see, this is where the hydrangeas are. Very cute. I will move that now before I forget. I will move it into this one. Hey, look at that. My craft folder's gonna have purpose. Woo! Done. Such a dork. More of the double-sided tape from Traveler's Notebook, and I have the, I think it's this year's 2025's pencil board that I like to keep back here for when I need it to write with, I suppose. And that is the olive passport. We might as well talk about the black passport. Black passport is my everyday carry. I used to have 3 inserts. I now only have 2 because I've realized that the third one was too bulky and annoying. And I didn't use it, like, at all. I was gonna have a list book and then a scratch pad, or, you know, like just something that you just jot down ideas for. They can be the same book. So I'm just gonna use it as a backup once I fill up this one. So that's what I have decided to do. In here I have the blue. See, again, the black rubs off on the material. It's really intense. Good thing is these are cotton, so I think you can put them in the washing machine. I wouldn't put them in the tumble dryer, but you could potentially wash these or even like hand wash them to make them new and pretty again. Take the stuff out first. But in here I usually have my Go card, my library card. I have a wallet as well, like a card folder thing. I use my phone a lot to pay for stuff, so I don't often go to them, which is why my 2 most used cards, which is a library card and my public transportation card, live in here. Very good. This is the list book slash random ideas notebook. I have another craft folder. Hooray. With, oh! I didn't use that. I went and saw the Lord of the Rings anime, the Rohan one. Wasn't a fan, just so you know. Anyway, this is the monthly insert. I covered in really pretty music paper because the orange is too much. But I like it, but yeah, it's just not, like, decorating, I felt it didn't feel right. I'm just like, this kind of sucks. No thank you. So I've decided to give up on the memory side of it, and I'll just use it for dates, like events and things like that from now on. Another side of it, and a random card. I decided to make it pretty. I think there's I tore off, I don't know if you can see that. I tore off a sticker and it damaged it, so I'm hiding it with this to make it look like I did that on purpose. And this is empty so far. Cool. That's my everyday carry. It's a pretty simple traveler's notebook. I adore the cover of it though. It feels like, this is gonna sound real weird, but it feels like an old movie star, because like the really big chiffon, the pearl, I don't know, it says moi, which is I think love in French. So I don't know, it just feels very very vintage, very classy vintage, and I like it. I like it a lot. Yes, I've come to very much love the black passport. It's one of my faves. To be fair, most of the passports are my favorites. Passport is my favorite size. They're the best. The last one, A6 brown. It's my ranting journal. Currently it holds a like moleskin pocket style notebook, because that's how I started ranting and haven't used it up yet. I don't know about this one. I don't know if I want to keep it as a ranting journal or if I can move. I just don't know. I'm not entirely sure yet, because I do like having a ranting journal to sort of get all my thoughts out, to get out of my head a little bit, but I'm not sure if I need to dedicate an entire cover to that, or if I could use, I don't know. I just don't know about it. I don't use it as often as I thought I did. There are times, obviously, in great stress that I do use it a lot, and there's months where I don't use it at all. And because it's just writing, it's this thin always. So dedicating an entire cover to that feels wasteful to me, because a lot of the reasons why I have so many covers is because I journal thickly, right? Like having 2 or more inserts in a single cover gets uncomfortable for me. And personally, I don't like taking inserts out to write in them and then to put them back in. I kind of find that process kind of tedious and pointless. Like buy other notebooks that have a cover built in. Like that's how my brain thinks. And yeah, so a lot of my inserts do get quite fat and quite thick, and are annoying to write with if there's more than 2 in there, which is why I do tend to have a lot of individual ones. That's how I justify it anyway. I do think I go through stages of condensing. Like I would like to maybe only have 1 or 2, but I'm also such a categorizer. I like having covers with a clear topic or a clear, what's the word I'm trying to say? Purpose. And I get a little bit twitchy if there's like, if there's a ranting journal with a gratitude journal. That doesn't make sense to me. They're opposite ends of the spectrum. At the same time, I can understand why people would put them together. Anyway, that's just how I sort of think. But yeah, so my brown is kind of in limbo at the moment. I'm not entirely sure what to really do with it, because I do love it. I do really love my browns. My browns are my second favorite color. And I don't know, I just don't know what to do with him. If anybody has any ideas, to be fair, like there's no harm in just not using it. That is something I have slowly started to accept is that just because you own a traveler's notebook cover doesn't mean you have to use it and fill it. People switch in and out of different covers all the time. It's there. It's a good security blanket. Like if you do need it one day, you've got it there. You've got it covered. I did have an idea, just to like double back again. I did have an idea to get like a thicker notebook for the rant. It's not really a ranting journal. It's just stream of consciousness more than anything. You just want to get everything out of your head. And I often think about getting like a proper thick notebook, like a I don't even know, maybe like another Hobonichi, maybe they're a bit thicker, or even a Midori. Some of those can get quite thick. Just something. If sterling ink wasn't expensive for me to buy, I live in Australia, so postage alone is about $40, which is insane. They seem to be nice thick books. You can get them quite thick. I think about putting them in there as well, just so it doesn't feel like I am wasting it for a journal that's that thick, you know what I mean? Anyway, so yeah, I think I do need to come to terms with the fact that even though I love it, and I do love it, not using it doesn't mean I don't love it, if that makes sense. At this point in time, I'm just really excited to have olives in my life. I've been wanting an olive since the very beginning. So when I finally got my hands on them, I went ballistic, and I just love them, and I poured all my heart and soul into these. But that's not to say that maybe I'll get sick of the olive or seeing the olive so much. Like at this point in time, these two are what I'm in the most. Daily log and my music journal. I'm probably gonna get sick of that. So maybe I will move everything from here into my brown eventually. There's no harm in doing that. I think I get too emotionally invested in each of the colors. Like even this, I really like this section of this journal, so I really want to use it differently, so I'm in it more. And until I figure out what that means, it's gonna chill out, and that's okay. That's just my own sort of existential crisis at the moment, but that's really how I use all of my traveler's notebooks, my 8 traveler's notebooks. I'm sure as life goes on, they will condense or maybe even expand, I don't know. But I really love it. It's my favorite, they're my favorite kind of hobby, and they have been excellent companions over the past couple of years. I think I've been using traveler's notebooks exclusively, or consistently I should say, not exclusively because I have Hobonichis now, but I've been using them for close to 7 years now, which is when I sort of discovered them and stuff, and which is really, really cool, and I really like them. So that is me. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble about all of these. If you have any questions, feel free to ask either on Instagram or in the comments below. I am more than happy to continue to rant about these things, or ramble, I should say, not rant. I love them. I'm not angry. But yeah, that is it from me. Thank you so much. I will chat to you next time. Bye.